Can you guys hear me now? Is this any better? I hope so. Some people say buzzing still, but we're going to try it with the headphones, and I'm sure we're going to get there. Okay, great. So I guess this is better. Thanks, guys. Okay, cool. I'm glad I asked because I would have just kept going with the training, and it's much better if you can hear me. Thanks for hanging in there. We'll figure that out for the next one because I don't really like to have to use my headphones because it kind of ruins the pink and everything, right? So anyway, so excited to be here with you. Like I said, this training is all about why 2018 is literally the best year to be a coach and what's working right now for coaches in the industry. So before we go any further, I want to make sure that you go to realtruthwithlove.com and make sure that you're all signed up because on Thursday, I'm going to be sharing information about my new course. And it's going to be the only way that you get $400 off is by being on this VIP list. So you're going to want to go to realtruthwithlove.com. It's in the description. If you're on Instagram Live, go to realtruthwithlove.com. Super easy URL. So I want to make sure that you're able to head there and opt in so that you get all the information. And if you don't know, I'm Emily Williams, the founder of I Heart My Life and a success coach for female entrepreneurs. So I love working with coaches, especially because I myself am a coach and I know what works because I'm literally doing it every day and have been for the past 4.5 years. So excited to be here with you to share all of this juicy information. And I want to make sure that you know that this is a whole series. Now, it's not that you can't watch the individual episodes every day, but it's going to be going for 5 days. So starting today is day 1. So make sure that you've opted in at realtruthwithlove.com so that you can get notified for every training that's coming up because they're all different topics, but all are geared towards new coaches. So if you are a coach, brand new, or someone who even has a business already but is looking to go to the next level, the next 5 days you're going to want to tune in. And the reason why it's called Real Truth with Love is because that's what I'm known for. I'm known for speaking the truth to my clients, helping them overcome any blocks or fears or anything that's holding them back so that they can move forward with their dreams and not have anything standing in the way of their success. So oftentimes we think that it's just another strategy or another webinar that's going to help us go to the next level. And what I find is it's really deep work that helps you shift. So if you think about it like an operating system, so right now you might be operating with a very old system or maybe something that, has been passed down through generations of family members, certain beliefs about what it takes to be a coach or beliefs about starting your business and how it's too hard and you can't do it. Whatever that operating system is, I help you shift that so you can get the success that you want. And then we go for all the strategies and we figure out what's going to work for you and your business based on your goals and what you want. That's a little bit about how I work. So today is all about starting this Real Truth with Love series, day 1. We're going to get into what's working as a coach, if you're a coach right now in 2018, and why it's the best time to be a coach. So I'm seeing tons of my clients on here. So thank you guys for commenting and being so active. I love it. Awesome. There's already tons of comments. Great. So, and also, like I said, I'm going to be answering questions throughout. So I might pause and answer a question if you put it in the chat box. And if not, we want to answer all your questions. So at the end, there will be a replay. It'll be up for the next week or so. And we want to answer all your questions. So make sure that you're putting them in the comment section. So either myself or my team, we can go in and give you some feedback. So, hey, Vicki. Awesome. Yes, Rachel, no problem. Yeah, it will be saved. There will be a replay. So definitely tune in and post your questions below because I want to read them after this training. That's one of the best parts. Obviously, being on live is the best part, but I love reading all your comments and seeing what shifted for you because right now, today, you can literally have a huge shift. You can move forward with your dreams. You can make today the day that things start to change. And so really expect that. It's only going to be a 15 or 20-minute training here, but I want you to experience big shifts, and I want you to comment below in terms of what came up for you based on what I say, what you're going to take action on, and how you're going to change your life and move forward with your business starting now. So let's go ahead and dive in. I have some notes for you because this series is really important to me. It's important that you get all of the juicy information, and so I don't want to miss anything. So if I'm looking over, that's just because I'm looking at some of my notes so I don't miss anything. So today's inspiration is really from one of my clients. So there was a session I had with one of my clients a few weeks ago, and they were talking about how they were going to be traveling a lot. They weren't sure if they were going to have time to take discovery calls. They didn't know if they should send out a sales email. And basically they asked me if they should just wait a couple weeks or wait even a month to send out this email. And my response was, I don't wait for anything. And I wanted to share that with you today because if you're waiting for the perfect time to start your coaching business, please believe me when I say it's never going to happen because we all know there's never a perfect time for anything. I remember when I was moving from Ohio to London. For those of you who don't know, I'm from Ohio but live in London, England. When I moved here 8 years ago, I asked my grandpa how I would know if it was the right decision. And he literally said, you probably will never know. You might not ever be 100%, but you just have to trust your gut and go for it. And I was listening to a book actually the other day on trust. And the author was talking about how when a baby is born, it literally trusts that it's going to be fed. It trusts that its mother will provide for it. It trusts that it will be picked up or that it will be changed. But along our journey, sometimes we lose that trust factor. We're unable to trust in others and also in ourselves. And I just want to let you know that if you're feeling called to be the next top coach, please trust in that feeling. That's your truth speaking. The other day, James and I were talking about this very topic, and he said sometimes the best ideas are the ones that happen before the head gets in the way. And that's exactly what happens with all of us when we're starting on our journey as a new entrepreneur. So we start to get this idea, just like I did when I was a brand new coach. I saw Marie Forleo and Danielle Laporte and all these amazing people out there doing what I wanted to do. And my first thought was, oh no, they already own the whole market. There aren't any more clients for me. I can't do this. How can I ever be as good as Marie? And if you're feeling any of those emotions, just know that that's totally natural. But also know that your truth is that initial gut feeling where you know you're meant for something big and you know that you're meant to be a coach. So follow that. I'm going to share why it's the best time for you to start right now. So like I said, oftentimes I get that question, should I wait? Or how do I know if it's the perfect time? But the real truth, again, this comes back to why I titled this series Real Truth, is that there's never a perfect time. So I really want you to understand that and just recognize that today's the day to start. And it doesn't have to be done perfectly. So let's take a look at some of my notes. So here's what I want you to see based on your own journey. Look back at some of the times where you've waited for things to kind of pan out perfectly or waited for things to be that ideal time. And if you look back, you'll probably see that perfect time never actually came. And it's the same thing with your coaching business. So there's a few reasons why now is the best time to start. That's definitely one of them, but there's a few more practical reasons. Now, before we get into that, I just want to make sure that I can see some of your comments here and I'll come back to them. Okay, perfect. So there's a lot of excuses that I hear in addition to not having the perfect time. not being the perfect time. So a lot of my clients or future clients come to me and they say, or they write into my team and they wonder, are there enough clients out there for them? Can they even do this? Like I thought with Marie, I wasn't sure whether she owned the market, if there'd be anyone left for me to work with. And I really wanted to understand that there are more than enough clients out there for you. And if you think about how many people are in the world, over 7 billion. There's half of those people are online, but there's literally 7 billion people in the world. Half are online, nearly half. And that's only going to increase as the years go on. And recently, last year, I was adding up how many clients I worked with in order to scale my business to 7 figures. And I bet you can guess the number. So I'm going to ask you really quick, like everyone comment below the video and guess what the number is. How many people do you think I needed to coach in order to hit that 7-figure level? I know everyone's really smart here, so I'd love you to comment and see what your guess is. So I'm going to wait just a second because we have a bit of a delay here. Yeah, Anna says, that's my worry. There aren't enough clients. So Savannah said 1,000 people to hit 7 figures. Judy said 100. Amanda said 500. Yeah, you guys are super smart. Love it. Okay, cool. So it was about 500 people. And I want you to think about that. Out of it's like 3.5 billion people are online. Out of 3.5 billion people, I had to work with about 500 to hit 7 figures. So I really want you to want that to put this into perspective for you. So you might have a 6-figure goal. You might have a $50,000 goal. You might just want to replace your 9-to-5 income before so you can leave and do your work as a coach full time. Whatever your goal is, just understand that there are more than enough clients out there for you to serve. And so you have to really start to believe that in order to take that step forward. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Think about how you might have that operating system and think about those beliefs that might be holding you back in this moment. Number one is that feeling that there's never the perfect time. Number two is that there aren't enough clients out there for you. And all of those beliefs can be shattered today just by thinking about this in a different way. Most people also wonder if they can be a coach if they aren't qualified. So one of the cool things about coaching is that you don't actually need a certification. Now, hear me when I say that doesn't mean that you don't get trained and that you don't practice or hone your craft. It just means that you don't need that certification. And for most of us, that's absolutely incredible, and it's not what we're used to. We're used to having that piece of paper, that diploma, whatever it is. One of my clients even told me that she didn't feel qualified enough to arrange the flowers at her own wedding, so she had to go and get a certification in floral arrangement. And that's what we're led to believe, right? Is that we need to be overqualified to do this. And I really want to squash that belief again today because like I said, it's not that you shouldn't get the support to be a masterful coach. I've invested in a lot of programs to take my coaching to the next level, but you don't need to have a qualification to start. You just need some sort of experience or some sort of path that you've been down on that you can help your clients through as well. So people will buy to either increase pleasure or decrease pain. So most of us are our ideal client, and we know that we've been through something and we can help others get through it too. We see the light at the end of the tunnel when other people don't see it, and we know the path to take. And so for most of my clients, I recommend that you start with your own story, start with your own journey. How have you been able to change your life? What is it that you can offer the world? We're going to talk about that more in one of our future trainings. So make sure, again, you go to realtruthwithlove.com and opt in so you're notified about the future trainings and about the program that opens up on Thursday and saving that $400. So the other thing, most people don't understand that you don't actually have to be techie or be a designer to start your own coaching business. So when I started my business, I actually had my husband, James, create my first website. I also had him take my first photos. And so you can start with anything that you have available to you right now. Things like Squarespace. It's literally under $20 a month to set up a beautiful website, something that's completely template-based. Or Canva. Canva's free for most subscriptions, right? You can use it and design graphics and, really create this brand that's beautiful with a very, very simple process. You don't have to be techie. You don't have to be a designer. You can start your business right now, today, with those simple tools. And so I think a lot of people forget that. They forget how easy it is, but literally there's no excuse You can have your website up in 36 hours. I did it myself. James launched our first website. Then when I got my professional photos taken, finally after a few months, I decided to rebuild my whole website on Squarespace, literally had it up within 36 hours. I don't think I slept much, but I had it up. And so I want you to understand, again, there's no excuse. And now is the better time, best time. All of the tools and the resources that we have available to us, they can help you create your dream business starting today. All right, the other excuse that I hear all the time is I don't know how to get clients and I don't have money for marketing. Okay, so in case you didn't know, a lot of people are watching me on Instagram Live, but I'm also on Facebook Live. These are free tools. I am streaming to thousands of people right now from the comfort of my office at my home for free. And this is how a lot of my clients are getting their next client, is via Facebook Live. So there's really no excuse. You don't have to know much about marketing. You know, it's great to be a part of programs like the ones I offer and learn, you know, the exact steps that are working, but jump on Facebook Live, talk to people about what it is that you have to offer, about your program, about your services, about your message. Start sharing your story. It's literally as simple as that. All right, next one. So you don't have a list. Okay, so I know that a list is important. Trust me, I believe that. But I started with 15 friends and family on my email list, and it didn't stay like that for long. So you need to understand that we all start somewhere. If you're dreaming about being a coach, remember, everyone starts at the beginning. No one starts with a list of thousands of people. That's not how it works. So if you have 15 friends and family on your list or 0, that's perfectly fine. Do not let that hold you back. Nothing's going to change unless you move forward. I really hope that everyone's getting that. So now is the best time to be a coach because it's so simple, because all of these key elements are here for you. The Squarespace templated website, things like Canva, you know, anything that you could need is right there at your fingertips. You can have a business up today. So that's so powerful, but also know that everyone has to start somewhere. If you don't start today, then nothing is ever going to change and you're not going to get closer to that business that you want. Okay, another thing I hear is that people don't have professional photos. So I kind of mentioned this a few minutes ago, but I want you to understand that you don't have to have professional photos. I highly recommend that you do have a photo shoot at some point in your first year in business. But like I said, James took my photos to start out. If that's where you have to start now, then that's where you have to start now, but just get started. So what I want you to really see here, I'm going to take a look at your questions in just a second, is that this is possible for you. So everyone starts in the beginning. That's key. Everyone thinks that it's not the perfect time, that they don't have enough time, they don't have enough money, that they don't have enough skills, that they don't know how to coach. All of that is totally natural. We all start at the beginning, but you have to move forward. Otherwise, you're going to stay in that place. So I'd love to see what your top questions are. I'm just going to open up another tab here because some of them have disappeared. I just want to make sure to be able to answer them because I know I saw a bunch coming in. So go ahead and type them in if you haven't done so yet so that we can review them. And thanks to Ashley, my amazing team member, who is commenting in the thread as well. So I just need to log in here. For some reason, it's not showing. It's only showing old ones here. All right, who's on live? Who has questions? I'd love to hear them before we go any further. There we go. Okay. Savannah says, you're so quick with all your decisions. Did you ever make mistakes? Yes, I definitely made mistakes, but it doesn't matter because you learn from that and it really will help you moving forward. If you look back to any previous mistakes that you've made in your life, it's all gotten you to where you are now. And so it doesn't end up mattering in the end. You know, you just have to know what that end goal is, that goal of becoming a coach. And everyone has their own path to get there. Some people, you know, they're going like this. It's just like when you're going from New York to California. So there isn't one route that you can take. You kind of carve it out and pick the route that feels good to you. Who else has questions? What's your best advice if you're just starting out as a coach to get yourself out there? So definitely things like Facebook Live. The other thing that I was thinking about a few days ago was this email that I sent out to all my friends and family when I just started. So I highly recommend as a new coach that you reach out to your current network. So often people start their business and they're like, oh, I'm not finding clients. I don't know where to find clients. But literally think about the people in your community. Think about friends and family. Think about who knows someone who may be your ideal client. And I pulled up an email that I sent out, I think it was October 1st, 2014, to all my friends and family, telling them about my new business, sharing my website, sharing who my ideal client is, and ask them if they knew anyone who might be interested. And so things like that, so easy. Or being a part of Facebook groups and commenting on different threads where you know you can add value. That's another key place to find clients. And then, like I said, Facebook Live or Instagram Live or YouTube Live. Everyone, there's really no excuse. I'm just going to say it, real truth, right? There's no excuse not to put yourself out there. And it can feel really nerve wracking. Even me, I get nervous about doing things like this sometimes. And I'm a big introvert, so it does take a lot to get out there. But once you start doing it and once you get into the habit of it and practice, then it does become easier. So I hope you believe me on that one, because it's true. I, for a long time, fought this whole element of live video, but now it's much, much easier. You just have to get started just like everything else. So Anna, yeah, I saw your comment. You said that's your worry, that there aren't enough clients out there to pay what I'm worth. I'm a stepmom coach. Yeah, so this is another thing that I teach all of my clients and all of our programs. It includes money mindset work, because like I was talking about at the beginning of this, that old operating system, that belief that there's not enough, or that there aren't enough clients who can pay you what you're worth, that's going to stop you from moving forward. So we need to figure out what's going on beneath the surface. And the way I think about it, I don't know if I've shared this on Facebook Lives. I think that everyone has a wealthy grandma. So, when you get on a phone with a client, your limiting belief might be that they don't have the money. Maybe you read a discovery session form that they filled out, and based on what you've seen on that form, or maybe you research them on Facebook, whatever it may be, you might think, oh, they probably don't have the money. Well, I want you to flip the switch on that thinking and just believe that everyone has a rich grandma. And what I mean by that is everyone has the ability to create wealth. Everyone has the ability to find money. You know as well as I do, when someone wants something, they will find the money for it. And so it's about really retraining your mind to believe that that's true. Cool. Anna says, I found that my ideal client is not in a stepmom Facebook group. Lots of complainers looking for free advice and not willing to invest in themselves. Okay, great insight. I know that there are a lot of women, though, who have been in my programs who are also stepmoms, and they're in Facebook groups. So again, we want to flip the switch. Like, it's great that you're paying attention to what's not working or what seems not to be working. But I believe that there are tons and tons of Facebook groups out there. I'm sure there is a stepmom group where people in other groups who happen to be stepmoms who would love to hear about your work. Let's see. Amanda said, in sharing your story online, what was the best way to engage with your ideal client? Okay, so this is a great question. So there's a few answers to this. One is just starting to share my story and recognizing that it would connect with the right people and not worrying about who it didn't connect with. And so I just found out that my turning point, there's a few turning points in my story, but my main turning point was when I was prepared to go to Northwestern to get a master's in counseling psychology and literally turned the car around and went back to Ohio. And so I realized that that was kind of the turning point in my whole story. And it really kicked off what I like to call my I Heart My Life story. And I believe everyone has an I Heart My Life story. So where was that moment where everything changed course for you? Where was that point where your ideal client will really resonate with that because maybe they're experiencing the same thing? So I'd pick that point, and that's where you start your story, right? I don't go back to when I was 5 years old. I start at a certain point that I know my client can relate with. So start there. And then the other piece to it is just understand that everything's going to become clear as you go along. So there's elements of my story that I just shared openly just to share and offer support to my clients and, give value. But I never thought that they would catch on, or I never thought that people would care that much, or I never thought that people would actually remember the story. But when I started to tell it and people would say, I really love that story, I really resonated, or I got emails from people, or I got messages, or whatever it may be, I started to be able to tell what the key parts to my story actually were and what stories in particular really resonated with my ideal client. So just know, share openly from the heart, share now. And then as you move forward, as you keep telling your story, you'll start to see what pieces really stand out and what really does connect with your ideal clients. I hope that makes sense. Anna says, love the rich grandma comment. It's true. You never know who has the rich grandma or, the inheritance. Okay, great. Okay, Anna, you had another question that I missed. You said, I want to attract exclusive clientele, but I feel like I'm attracting a lot of people with low income who can't pay for my products. Thoughts on how to be more premium and first class? Great question. So again, this is a money mindset piece. So I'd ask you, are you showing up in the way that you want your clients to show up? So are you living life according to your desires and according to, what you would expect from someone else? Are you yourself investing in first class products? Are you yourself getting the support that you would want other people to pay for? And what is your mindset like? And what are your beliefs? So right now, like we just had a bit of a back and forth around money mindset. And you just said, I feel like I'm not attracting a lot of people with low income. Okay, so let's flip the switch on that. I am attracting people with a high income. I attract more wealthy people to my business every single day. Start to really pay attention to the thoughts that you're saying and the different words that you're saying out loud. Here, obviously, I'm offering you support. And so it's awesome that you're asking me an honest question, but just pay attention to the thoughts that are on repeat and what you may be attracting into your life. And also look at how you're showing up. Are you behaving in a way that you would want your clients to behave in? Let me go back up to the top because I know I missed a lot of questions here. I see so many people I know. Thanks for being on, guys. Oh, I think I caught most of them. Awesome. Someone's on from Las Vegas. Hello. Thank you for some of you who repeated your questions so I could see them. Christy says, hi, Emily. I'm just here because I need some positivity. Things are so tough right now. I don't feel the least bit capable of coaching anymore. Maybe someday. Any words of encouragement? Oh, thank you for sharing that, Christy. So sending you lots of love, and just know that I believe every aspect of our journey is in service to us, but also to our clients. So you never know what hardships you're going through or what you're experiencing. You never know how it's going to affect your clients. So I've used so many of my most vulnerable moments to really support my own clients and to connect with them and to show them that I understand where they're coming from. So just like the story I mentioned now, when I turned the car around from Chicago and went back to Ohio, I ended up working at Starbucks. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that wasn't my lifelong dream. And I was in a quarter life crisis for years, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And that was probably my lowest time. But I've used that story in so many different ways throughout the past few years to really support people in their own quarter life crisis and to move forward with their dreams and to know that they shouldn't give up hope, because I didn't, and I was able to transform my life. And so I just want to remind you of that. I believe everything happens for us. So if you can take a look and find a little bit of gratitude, or maybe even a little bit of, I don't know, and maybe that you'll have an aha moment just for me saying that. If you can find any sort of, silver lining in that cloud, even if it's a tiny, tiny one, that will really support you in moving forward. So that's my best piece of advice. And just know, like I said at the beginning of this Facebook Live, that whatever is in your heart, it's meant for you. And so I really, really believe that. Do not give up on your dream. We don't know where our journey is going to take us. We don't know how it's going to look. Like I said, that metaphor of driving from New York all the way to California, everyone has a different route, but just trust, again, really, really start to trust that your life is, if you're having a difficult moment, then it can only get better, right? So start to look for that silver lining. Natalie says, currently an interior designer and ready to make the switch to coaching. What's the first step to make that drastic change a smooth transition to my current audience? Awesome. That's so exciting. So we think that everyone how do I put this? We think that there's like always all eyes on us. We think everyone notices everything. I forget where this study was done, but I remember reading about this certain study where all these students came into a classroom and they had on a special t-shirt that was pretty outlandish, something that they thought everyone in the room would initially recognize and, laugh at them and take notice of, but barely anyone even noticed. And I'm not saying this to say that your audience doesn't care, but I'm saying this to show you that you just need to put it out there. And the people who are excited for you, they will express that excitement. And a lot of people I find, they see that coaching is actually a natural progression to what you've already been doing. Most coaches have been coaching in some form or another their whole life. And so it's a really natural step to start coaching people and offer it in an actual, business. And so it's probably the same for your people. So I would just have an announcement. I obviously don't know that much about your business, Natalie, but I would just announce it and just say, I'm so excited. This is the next step for me and for the business. These are the clients I'm going to be working with. This is the package I'm offering. If you'd like to know more, book a call. Something as simple as that. Just put it out there. Debbie says, I've recently launched an entrepreneur program for Indigenous women in our local community with a friend who is a coach. We're finding that we are attracting non-Indigenous women. The women we're targeting are Indigenous women who we are finding cannot afford the program. How should we break through this? Great question. So I think it's interesting, when we put something out there and it actually attracts different people than what we expected. And that actually happened to me in the beginning of building my coaching business. So I started off as a life coach and then actually found that there were a lot of wannabe entrepreneurs who came my way and they wondered how I was building my business, how I was actually getting clients. And so I started to pay attention to that. So I'm not saying that you completely flip who you're working with, but I pay attention to the people who are coming your way. Are any of them people who you'd like to work with? Could you create a program for that community until you figure out how to market to the Indigenous group? And that's not really my area of expertise, but I would speak to as many people who are your ideal client as possible, figure out what it is that they would pay money for. Because oftentimes, we think we've nailed our marketing. We think that the sales page is perfect and that people are really going to get it. And then we find that there's just one tweak that we have to make. And then everyone starts to really get it in an even bigger way. So I just ask them, what is it that's stopping them from purchasing? Because like I said, I truly believe that everyone has the money for what they want. So I would start to do the research and also take a look at this new group who's coming your way. Thank you. Hey, Emily. Hey, Savannah. So Savannah says, what did you spend more time on? What did you spend more time on when starting out versus now? That's a great question. I've never thought about that. I mean, it's very similar. What I do now is very similar to what I did previously, but the marketing has expanded. I obviously have a team now, but it's really not that different. Is that a weird answer? It's not that different. I'm still doing a lot of what I did in the beginning, but just have extra support and everything is a bit more advanced, right? Like you start off with something like MailChimp and then you build up to something more robust like Infusionsoft. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. That's just the CRM system that, will capture emails and help you market to all of your ideal clients. But it's pretty similar. Okay, cool, Savannah. It's not weird. Della says, to speak on the last topic, I've been working on my money mindset within the last few days after reading your material, and wow, I had no idea my thoughts were so reverse of what I wanted. My new mindset is already working. Literally, cash is flowing into my hands. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Della, that's incredible. I'd love to hear what it was, like if there was any particular shift that you made. Maybe there was one thought that you can see was really holding you back. I'd love to hear what that is if you want to type in the comments. And Leah, no problem. Yeah, you can definitely check out the replay. We're almost done here. Oh my gosh, we've already been going for 33 minutes. This was supposed to be like 15 minutes, guys. It's so fun. Thank you for being on. Okay, so I just want to let you know what's coming up this week. So tomorrow is how to get your first coaching client. And then on Wednesday, we are going to be doing the I'm Not a Unicorn training. So one of my new team members, Ashley, she recently told me that before we connected, obviously in our company, she thought that I was a bit of a unicorn because I created 6 figures in 6 months. And so I'm going to give you the real truth about that and what it really looked like in my first 6 months in business. So that's going to be a really fun one. Then we're going to do the webinar, which is how to replace your 9 to 5 income with coaching. So that's going to be an extended training. It's going to be something you do not want to miss. So that's on Thursday at this same time. And then James and I will be in Paris on Friday. So we'll be doing a live stream from Paris all about branding and websites and your marketing material and also your story. So we've covered story here a little bit in this training. Story is so, so important. So if you haven't started sharing your story with your audience, or you haven't written down your story if you're a new coach, I highly recommend that you do that today, just so you can get an understanding of what your own turning points are and really start to see, what type of ideal client you want to work with, and how they may connect with you, how you may be able to help them. And so you can start to move forward with really understanding how to build that connection. Because the way that someone described it to me once, it's like any sort of character, when you watch Friends or The Office or whatever TV show you love, Gossip Girl, that's old school, right? You follow along with the character, their middle name, their favorite food, all this history about them. And it's the same thing when you're starting your coaching business and moving forward. People want to know you. They want to be able to connect with you. They want to remember your stories. And so the best way to start is to get an understanding of your own story and to write it down and get clear on what your messaging is. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here today, everyone. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow, same place, same time. And remember to enter your name and email at realtruthwithlove.com. Then you will be the first to hear about our new course launching on Thursday. You're going to get $400 off by being a VIP person. And you'll also get notified for all of the trainings over the next 4 days so you don't miss out on any of the topics that I just listed. So have an amazing day. Can't wait to read all of your comments and answer any questions we missed. So definitely post below and share any insights that came up for you as well. All right, looking forward to speaking to you soon. Bye, guys.